Errollyn, it's so great that we've been able to do this, that we've been able to finally get together and perform and record your piece, both for the album and for this film. It's been absolutely wonderful to play it with you, as you know, having written it.
Well, thank you for commissioning. Without you, it wouldn't have existed, and the fact that it was for International Women's Day, that's what led me to discover a little something about the life of Sojourner Truth, and very much by naming the piece with her name, I just don't want the world to forget her. So if you never play a note of this music, you will see her name there. And I felt that was very important. And the fact that we can be here today playing is just fantastic. For us to record it here at Royal College of Music, where both of us teach, feels like a special homecoming somehow, just across from the Albert Hall. But also for me, the fact that you asked me to play the part as well, it's been a wonderful thing rediscovering the work too, and your part is pretty virtuosic. Lots of runs, angular leaps, and a variety of atmospheres and emotions which you convey so brilliantly. So
oh, thank you very much. You know what's so special for me is when you actually can perform it with the composer and you can tell me what you think, and it's absolutely from the source, from the creative source, and that is really special and irreplaceable. So
thank you so much. And it's, I had some trepidation because I had to get back into shape, practice and everything, and for me, I don't think I've performed with anybody since, for a couple of years. Certainly, I haven't been playing the piano because I've been so busy composing. Yes. So, yeah, and to revisit again the choices I made about this piece, why I wrote this particular piece, was quite something.
Do you remember how we met in New York? It must be about 20 years ago now, with UK and NY, that amazing festival in Lincoln Center, which was planned a long time before that, but then happened to be 6 weeks only after 9/11, and it became a very important dedication from the UK to New York, and it was a very important thing to do. And then in the years since, we've been talking about having a piece, and I was so thrilled that for International Women's Day last year, you were able to fit this in between your writing operas and things. And the fact that it was the culmination of a century of music by British women from 1921, and Rebecca Clarke and other composers, Grace Williams, Ruth Gibbs, Thea Musgrave, Helen Grime, Cheryl Frances Hode, and then Judith Weir. And then to have this as a brand new piece, 2021. And it was originally scheduled for the South Bank Centre International Chamber season, but then, alas, because of the pandemic, March last year for International Women's Day, it was closed. But how lucky we were to have St John Smith Square, who took the project, and we were able to do it as a live stream.
I saw that live stream concert, which was very special.
When you first got in touch, after I'd commissioned this piece with the support of the wonderful Ralph Vaughan Williams Trust, and then you came up with this idea, Sojourner Truth.
Yes, I think I even told you that was the title before I'd composed the music.
Yes.
Knowing the event it was marking, I felt I had to do something. I had to do a bit of research, and I came across The Extraordinary Life of Sojourner Truth, and I was thinking, I really didn't know much about her, and
nor did I.
But her character and her achievements were so great that I wanted to have her always remembered by having her name in the title of this work, and to capture in the music, something just so overwhelmingly strong about her.
I mean, what an amazing woman.
Yes.
American abolitionist, born in 1797. Originally she was called Isabella Baumfree. I mean, I read up, about her after you got in touch.
And she's born a slave, wasn't
Born
she?
a slave, and then was sold at the age of 13 and really suffered, and then managed to escape with the advent of the laws in New York at the beginning of the 19th century of freedom. And then on the day that she was going to have her freedom, her slave master changed his mind, but she still walked to freedom. And it's very significant that she talked about that she, instead of running away, yes, she proudly walked to freedom. But she had to leave some of her children behind, which was terrible. And fortunately, she got taken in by a kind couple as a free person. And she was the first black woman to sue a white man and win.
Yes.
And that's amazing. And she was illiterate, and yet she then, because of this couple in New York, yes, she became a Christian, and that's when she changed her name to Sojourner Truth, and she devoted her life to the abolitionist movement and also women's rights. Yeah. And she lived a long life till 1883 and spoke at rallies, and we should hear more about her, don't you think?
Yes, definitely. And every note in it, I was trying to think of her, but also with any brave act, there is always an internal struggle. You know about the dark side, which is why I included the spiritual the crossing as a it runs all the way through the work, and that slave song depicts very clearly the despair of everyday life, of being, captive. And so I set that alongside this woman who would have no doubt known this song.
Yes.
But I've made it a bit like a march, haven't I, in places?
I remember you saying, this is what's so great about working with a living composer. It sounds so obvious, but you can ask them what they mean, or they can tell you things, which is so helpful, because it gives you the insight into where it's coming from, and how to interpret the music. And there's a feeling of soulfulness, and I love the way that from this opening theme with your chords, it then develops into that sort of jazzy rhythms and more spirited. Yes. And then the mood changes and it becomes very reflective, and then you've actually marked in the music faster and exploding and alive, and then the yes, theme just has this incredible energy and spirit and character, and then silence, and then the extraordinary way at the end that the theme comes back with just me to play it up a semitone, which sort of lifts it. And then you spoke about the rest being so important, that the silence, and then you come in on a bare chord at the end. It's very special.
Yes. Generally this song was written from the point of view of Sojourner Truth and using my imagination to celebrate her.
You spoke about the fact that you were writing this when you were writing operas.
Yes, and maybe that's why I like writing operas so much, because it depends on imagination, but also interest in psychology and empathy with somebody who you will never meet. Just being a composer forces you to get out of your own head sometimes, and I tried to do that with this piece. I really did. And
you've celebrated her for posterity.
I suppose the number one thing for me in this piece is that the spirit of an indomitable woman is right at the centre of it.